Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. Well, do you like my wall? Well, it's not actually a wall, it's some sections of framing stacked on top of each other with representatives of the lower assembly components. I posed the question to myself, is 12mm rod overkill? The answer, of course, is always going to be yes, but it also affords the other aspect that if I want to make larger domes, I can, and why not try it with the larger dome type components that would be necessary. Well, that was kind of what I was thinking. Other than that, it was just that I had some 12mm rod out in the garage and I was fiddling with it, and I thought, oh well, when I make my models I'll use 12mm rods. That was about as deep as my thought process went initially. But just the other day I was making the comment about whether to use the screws or the tabs, as we see the two options here, for the upper assembly parts. And it got me to thinking, these are serious screws. They are SPAC screws, as everyone knows I've been banging on about, and they are 140mm long for no other reason than I've got some 140mm long screws out of my garage. They are classed as a 10mm, but the 10mm is across the peaks of the thread, not the shaft itself. Just letting you know. And if that's not long enough, well, in New Zealand we can get them up to 450mm long. And yes, that would be too long. In Germany, apparently, they go up to 3 meters long. I saw a video of them installing one of those, and I thought, how do they guide that length of screw into the timber? Still got no answer for that one. I should look at the video again. Anyway, that is not what we're here for today. It is, do we use a 12mm, a 10mm, or an 8mm threaded rod? I can't conceive of them breaking under normal load for the size dome I'm thinking of building, which is between 6 and 8 meter in diameter. That's not big in dome speak, but the style of dome is different from many of the others that are able to get away with much lighter fixings. And in particular, we have the interface between the very bottom row of triangles, only 4 of them, and they act as legs, and they of course support and attach to the upper part of the dome. And it's that point, and yes, I know, self-confessed paranoid person here, that is the area at which I think we need to keep the 12mm rods, and we can get away with much lighter rods elsewhere. The other side of it is, why not keep it all standard, except that you're going to be in the overkill category for this area of this component, but why make life hard for myself by changing out different components? So that's where I'm kind of pondering. However, because I've got some 8mm, 10mm and 12mm rod, I had a fiddle. This here is a much smaller hole. It's only about, let's measure it. It's 22mm. And it is, and I'm going to have to check that because let's just check that right now. This one here is 19. That's interesting. Why? Well, I know the pieces I've got out in the garage in my workshop, that all but fits inside that pipe. I'll have to check on that. But what we're doing here is, I'm going to have to change that because that's actually a 10mm nut. and I was going to insert a 12mm nut in there, which works, and forego having to worry about threading the pipe, which was a serious consideration, and then that means I didn't need a nut at all. But when I looked at it a bit more, I'm thinking, oh, hang on. I'm making the assumption that the threaded rod will go in perfectly into the thread of the pipe, and when I drilled it, I misaligned it ever so slightly between the two walls, and then when I went to thread it, I broke my darn tap. I thought, so immediately I thought, well, do I need to thread it at all? Can I get a nut inside the tube? And the answer is, yes, I can. And what's more, what happens if I do that? Cut them in half, just like the interface blocks in the hubs themselves, which means one process, many uses or situations. And I thought that might be a better way of doing it. It means that it's not a cost thing, it's more a practical side of how we construct it. And this curved piece of pipe interacts with the hole drilled in the side of the strut, and the nut, the flanges, will bed up against the pipe, and we should be good. I can't see that loading up the nut sufficiently to cause damage. Engineer will tell me otherwise. And I simply drill a slightly oversized hole there that gives me a little bit of wriggle room, and means that the alignment doesn't have to be 100% perfect for me to be able to drill a hole and then have it intersect in the right place for this bit of pipe. Because there stands a good chance that by the time we come in the distance necessary, the hole could have wandered a little bit. But I have spied a YouTube video talking about how to line bore a deep hole in the end of timber. And when you see how it's done, you think, of course, that is so simple. Well, straightforward. So that's a good thing, and I'll create a video on that at some stage as we progress along in this thinking. So 10mm, same thing, put a nut inside the pipe, or 8mm, or an 8mm cut in half of the pipe cut in half. Got the choices. I tend to lean towards keeping it chunky, because then I don't run the chance of less parts able to be used in more places, and then we're away laughing. But after all of that, this little, I'm going to copy it, this little piece here made out of a smaller pipe, we may be able to, where have I got it, come across here, we may be able to use that similar sort of thing here vertically instead of horizontal and cut to the shape of the inner surface of the hub. I can just turn it around vertically, and that can be my interface block for my straps should I decide to go down that route. Is it as strong as the flat blocks? No, can't be. But is it strong enough? Because this area here is the one that would see the least strain, says I. But that is just one more piece that I could cut a couple of hundred of, cut in half, and be able to be used in all the different positions for the hub, bottom assembly, top assembly, and even in the strut themselves, just at different lengths and orientation. So I've got a feeling that rather than try and make it too complicated, that might well take precedence over the other options available up for consideration. Could be that these bolts can be 10 mil or 8 mil. I can't conceive of any loading being put on them that would stress them to the point of failure, but keep the heavier threaded rod for the bottom. Tapping finger on mouse. Thinking. Does a statement like that preclude critical thinking? And that is one of the things that we've come to with this project, is realizing that when we go through our design ideas, most of it is just guesswork. And in lieu of knowledge, what else can we go with? I have done myself a disservice by not having posted these videos in a timely and sequential order on YouTube for people to then call me all the silly names and give me good advice. That is a shortcoming, I've got to say, and I'm now paying the penalty for it. So the remedy for that, start posting the darn things and let people comment and have at it and see whether I can keep up with the comments. With that, it is late Sunday and I might go have a cup of tea. How's that for an idea? Rightio, that's it. You know as much about it now as I do, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye now.